What I love about these plants is that they pay rent. So this is a plant that reproduces. It will give you new plants all day long. However, hello true gardeners, welcome back. We are talking quarterlines today. I get so many questions about quarterlines. On that quarterline video, I will be sure to link it down below because whatever I miss here today, I'm sure I cover it in that video. I love quarter lines. I use them in so many gardens. I have them all around my house because there's so many different varieties that you can choose from. You got sun? Quarter lines. You got shade? Quarter lines. You got anything? Quarter lines. They work everywhere. So I am going to talk about these particular ones right now, and then we're going to move over to a different variety. But these here are called anti-Luz. These guys have been in this ground for, oh my goodness, I'm so bad at time, 6-7 years, a good long while. And it's also what I call my collection group. So I tend to trim my quarter lines and find a place in my garden and farm the clippings. I'll tell you about that in a minute. First of all, this is all 3 plants. Well, 3 plants and clippings throughout the year. Look at this color variation in this plant. I mean, just absolutely stunning. I mean, this burgundy in this leaf is so beautiful. Now, this is a west sun location, so this gets good afternoon sun from my garden, and so you can tell right off the tips that we have some browning going on. We've had a severely hot winter, if you cannot tell from the melting in front of you. This is just, we are at 98 degrees today and we feel every ounce of it, but this is what happens to them when it gets too hot. Now, but don't worry, because the rest of the year they're gorgeous and beautiful, just like this dark burgundy coloring that you see here in the middle. So they're worth it. Put them in the sun, they can take it. They do prefer and love anything that gives them a little bit of filter light or protection. East side of the yard, north side of the yard, they love morning sun, midday sun to early afternoon sun. Once you get into this late afternoon sun, and Bryson and I were filming around 6 o'clock in the evening, yeah, so these guys get the brute of our summer Florida heat. I fertilize these guys with 8-2-12 palm fertilizer. They really love that mix. It keeps them nice and strong. And you want a strong plant, especially if you're going to allow this collection to get tall like I'm allowing mine to get, because that wind catches them and it can blow them over pretty easy. So you want them to have good strong stems, holds them in place. We get some severe weather where sometimes our palms will get damaged, but these guys hold up like a champ. What I love about these plants, kind of what I mentioned in my video about 2 years ago, is that they pay rent. So this is a plant that reproduces. It will give you new plants all day long. However, it doesn't do it by popping up little pups everywhere, which a lot of people and myself can be very offended by. I like a plant to stay where you plant it. This plant does that. However, it continues to grow taller and taller and taller, and a lot of times people will allow the plant to get beautiful and tall, and the top 6 foot of it is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, but the bottom 4 or 5 feet is nothing but a woody trunk, and it's ugly, and they kind of don't know how to combat that, and they don't want to cut it down because obviously the beauty's at the top, not the bottom. So what you do, one time a year, you trim the tallest of the stalks. So see how we have a layering effect here. We've got lower color down below that's camouflaging the trunk of this guy. But if you pull these babies away, what you see is this big ugly trunk. Not attractive, right? So what I do is, you can see I have a cutting here that I cut probably a couple years ago, and then where I cut it, I kind of take my Felcos, and then I take it and I shave right next to where I cut it. And then when you shave that area, that's where your next head's gonna pop out. So we've got 2 heads from this one cutting, and that's what it offers. And then back behind here, you'll notice that that's happened multiple times. And that's what makes this plant thick and beautiful with multi-trunks. Again, here we have it. Look at this, you guys. So this is a cutting here that probably happened a year or so ago, and now, well, maybe not a year ago because these are kind of still young. So this may have been 6 months ago, and look at how beautiful. We've got 3 new heads coming from that one cutting, and that's all you have to do. You have to find out where you want the plant, where you have a bald spot, cut it there. New heads will pop up from that spot, so you'll never have a bald spot in your plants. And it's so easy to do because you're not doing that once a week or once a month or every 2 months. You're doing that maybe every 6 to 8 months or a year. I mean, so what I'll come through is I'll see something like this. It's like, oh, this is kind of taking over this spot here. Let me cut this guy right down here and let it fill out here. And that's all it is. Imagine if you're forming a bouquet and you're looking at that bouquet and you're saying, I don't like this is a bald spot right here. All you do is you trim right where that is, let it fluff out, and this is not, it doesn't take time. It takes about 3 months before you start to see those new heads pop out, and then they just pop out and they're there for years. So I think that this is a fantastic plant to work with, as long as you kind of know the insights of what it takes to keep it beautiful. And it's that way with that plant, and it's that way with several others. So let's check out the other quarter lines we have here. So this is more of a shade garden. You'll see how that temperature, oh my God, Bryce, isn't that amazing? That temperature dips down so perfect. So right here, right in this little nook where you guys, we are gonna stay here for a while. So right here, it's nice and shady.
Beautiful color.
Thank you. Right here, it's so nice and shady, and these guys will not, if I put these for one day in that spot where my other ones were, these guys would completely melt, disappear on me, and not be happy. This is about as much light as they like to get. They like to get this little filtered sunlight that you see through here, and that really helps their coloring. They do not want full shade, but they do not want full sun, so they're more of an intermediate accent. So they want something right in the middle. So putting them underneath these Chinese fan palms and above these Chinese fan palms are foxtail palms. That is the perfect bit of protection for this particular plant grouping. So these are Harlequin quarter lines, and they do the exact same thing, you guys. They absolutely fill in this spot, do a gorgeous job of kind of giving me color where I want it. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a dead spot in the garden. So say this one right here. Right now I'm gonna leave it tall because all it is covering a big gap in my garden. And you guys know how I feel about gaps. So we're gonna leave this guy here, or else I would take these guys, I would nip it right here. So the head would now come out back here. But because I need it in this spot, I'm gonna leave it in that place and let it fill out, just like this one is getting big. So as soon as this one gets big and fills that spot, then it's time to nip this guy. And all I would do is I would take him after cutting him, and then I would put him right in front down below here and let him start to be the young one all over again. A little extra water for the first 30 days. They start to root in, and then voila, you have new quarter line that's getting ready to pop and give you new pups. So that's the ideal way to trim quarter lines. Now I'm gonna take you, because you guys are my people, over to a shameful spot in my garden. This is a spot where quarter lines sometimes go to die because I'm a busy person. But if I see quarter lines and it's time for me to trim, but I don't have time to put them in a spot, I collect them, trimmed. If I can put them in water, I do. But I'm gonna show you how easy it is. Now look at these guys. These guys have dried out. This was last weekend. It is now Saturday again. I have not had a chance to get to my quarter lines, but all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim this guy. It's still a week later, still has nice good color to it. I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna just kind of do this with the leaves here. And then I'm gonna put him in this spot that I wanna have a little bit of a filtered color grouping. And I'm gonna stick him right in the ground there. I have moisture in the ground. Look at how moist that ground is from all the other plants. Now, he's gonna grow up and be another Antilou just like those plants over there. And that's as easy as it is. Well, I didn't do that last Saturday. Please don't judge me. But, you know, that's a gardener's life. So, you guys, plant these guys. If you do, because I'm a quarter line fan, please let me know in the comments down below that you picked up a quarter line, you put it in the ground, and you're starting your quarter line journey, because that's kind of cool.
Quarter line
family. Bryce goes quarter line family. All right, you guys, thank you so much for visiting with me. I hope this video helped become a shopping list kind of video, to where you can determine if it's a plant or tree that you're going to incorporate in your very own garden or not. You know, if it made the cut or didn't make the cut. But thank you so much. Please comment if it helped you down below, because that is super, super cool. And if you like this kind of vibe, if this is, you know, kind of your thing and you like these helpful tips, then please subscribe and like. It helps my channel so much, and I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate making these videos with Bryce and sharing them with you guys all, because we all want to get out in the garden and you know, and have a beautiful place to live. So thank you. Bye-bye.
Nice.